The political climate in America was growing increasingly tense. As the 2028 elections approached, media channels had turned into battlegrounds. Martin Caldwell, a liberal TV host known for his sharp-tongued attacks, was one of the most controversial figures on primetime news. A fierce Trump critic, he had built his career on ridiculing conservatives. But that night, he would make the biggest mistake of his career. The show started aggressively, as always. Caldwell smirked at the camera, his voice dripping with sarcasm. Once again, Trump supporters have given us a comedy show. These rural, uneducated people still cling to a loser who has failed time and time again. They reject science, they don't understand economics, and they vote based on emotion rather than logic. Honestly, America is falling behind because of these people. Some in the audience laughed, while others exchanged nervous glances. But Caldwell's real target that night was JD Vance, a rising conservative star and a close ally of Trump. What Caldwell didn't realize was that he was about to be humiliated on his own show. JD Vance takes the stage. Vance listened patiently as Caldwell ranted. He took a sip of water, then locked eyes with the host and spoke calmly. Martin, your words reveal exactly how you see the world. You claim to support democracy, yet you insult millions of Americans simply because they think differently from you. You call them uneducated because they work in agriculture. You say they reject science because they question mask mandates and forced vaccinations. You mock them for not understanding economics, even though they run small businesses and support local industries. Caldwell's smug expression faltered. The tension in the studio grew thick. Vance continued, Trump supporters don't owe you or your elitist worldview anything. While you sit in fancy cafes in big cities, sipping lattes and wondering, why aren't these people as enlightened as we are? They are the ones building America. They are the farmers, the factory workers, the military personnel. And yet, you talk down to them like they're fools. And then you have the audacity to lecture us about democracy? The irony is astounding. Caldwell's smirk was gone. The audience was silent. The liberals' defeat. Trying to recover, Caldwell forced a chuckle. Oh, JD, that's a nice speech. But let's not forget, Trump supporters attacked democracy on January 6th. Are we just going to ignore that? Vance leaned forward, his gaze piercing. Ah, yes, the classic narrative. Blame millions of people for the actions of a few radicals. But when Democrats stormed government buildings, burned cities to the ground, and attacked police officers, you called it social justice. You act like Trump supporters are a threat to democracy. But when your side does it, it's activism. That's the real hypocrisy. Caldwell's hands clenched on the table. His usual confidence had vanished. The audience held their breath. Vance wasn't done yet. Do you know why people like you hate Trump so much, Martin? It's not because of his policies. It's because he shattered your illusion of control. The elites who have run this country for decades never wanted the common people to have a voice. But Trump came along and said, Wall Street won't run this country, the people will. That's why you despise him, not because of who he is, but because of what he represents, the power of the working class. The studio was dead silent. Caldwell opened his mouth, but no words came out. Then a few people in the audience began to clap. The sound grew louder. The internet exploded. Within minutes, the clip was going viral. Political chaos. That night, the show became the most talked about moment in America. Liberals accused Caldwell of being unprepared for conservative propaganda, while conservatives declared JD Vance the voice of the people. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere, the debate raged on. The next day, Caldwell invited JD Vance back to his show, but Vance's response was brutal. I don't need to fix your propaganda machine for you. The truth is already out there. That single moment exposed the deep divide in America. But more importantly, it proved one thing. The more the elites mocked the people, the stronger the people became. JD Vance had won, and Martin Caldwell never dared to mock Trump supporters again.